Dominick Cruz just officially announced that he's retiring after getting yet again injured and pulling out of his fight with Rob Font. Wow, that's crazy. I think Dominick Cruz teased that he was gonna retire a long time ago. I think he actually did semi-retire for a while, and I didn't expect him to actually do it officially. Wow. Apparently he just doesn't want to fight anymore. His body is struggling, and I can actually read you the guy's quote right here. And it says, and I quote, "To the fans worldwide, I have poured every ounce of myself into this sport for the last 25 years. I was really hopeful for one more final fight, but unfortunately, 2 shoulder dislocations in 8 months caused an end to this guy's career. I gave everything I had and put it into preparation and training for this fight, focusing on my cardio and my body for the past year. But sometimes the body just doesn't cooperate. The pain isn't as bad now that my shoulder is back in place, but the second dislocation was far more complicated than the first. The sport has been everything to me. It's helped to shape who I am. Thank you to the UFC for building this platform and paving the way for fighters like myself and so many others. The UFC broke barriers to set the stage, not just for us as fighters, and also for every MMA sports organization that followed them across the bridge created for politics in order to allow our sport to take place legally in the United States and now the world. I am incredibly grateful to everyone who booked tickets, hotels, and flights to support me. Thank you for being there for every moment, every victory, every challenge. You make this journey unforgettable. Thank you for the love and support. I will carry it with me always. With love, Dominick." That's crazy, you know? I never expected Dominick Cruz to just retire without a final fight. He always struck me as the type of guy to have a proper retirement, you know? And it is unfortunate that he pulled out of his fight with Font, because I was actually looking forward to it. I know Font is himself, Rob Font is also a bit of an old head. He's not exactly a young contender at bantamweight, but, I would have been happy to see him fight at least one more time and have an official retirement in the cage. And even then, I was saying, if he's going to fight, I want him to fight someone that makes sense, I really thought that if we had a retirement fight for Cruz, I was saying Jose Aldo should be it. Aldo should be the guy that fights Cruz. Aldo is just a guy that you always wanted to see match up with Cruz. Ever since the WEC days, people would talk about oh, we need to see Cruz versus Aldo. That's the fight. Okay, that's the fight to make. And I agree, even though Aldo is still competitive now. I mean, he just had a competitive fight with Mario Batista. Even though Batista pretty much just held him against the cage the entire fight. And speaking of that fight, how good is Aldo's takedown defense? I think Aldo might just have the best takedown defense in the entirety of MMA. This guy never really got taken down by him. I mean, he even denied all of Merab's takedowns when he fought Merab a couple years ago, which is really insane when you think about it. Especially when you look at the fact that Merab was pretty much getting takedowns on everybody, like Umar Nurmagomedov, Sean, Sugar Sean, and who else? Let's see, Cejudo. I'm forgetting my names at the moment because I'm forgetting my names, but you know how it is. But no, I really thought that Cruz, deserved the chance to go out on his shield and, have the proper retiring moment, lay his gloves down in the cage and just announce that he's retiring. It's a bummer. It's a shame that he's not able to do that because of his injuries. And, Cruz has always been injury prone. The fact that he even actually got the belt the second time was impressive. Especially when you're beating a prime TJ Dillashaw. People don't realize how good a prime TJ Dillashaw is. After all, TJ actually went to a split decision with Corey Sandhagen. And even though I think Sandhagen is one of the more overrated bantamweights, the fact that TJ in his older age was able to, win a split decision over Sandhagen, even though I know a lot of people say that Sandhagen lost that fight, or my bad, Sandhagen won that fight. I didn't watch the fight, not because I didn't want to, but because I was busy that day. I actually really wanted to watch that fight, but I was busy that day. And I missed it, unfortunately, so I couldn't judge it. But, Cruz has always been a really good, bantamweight fighter. And, a lot of people still have him as a bantamweight GOAT. I have it a bit as, a tie right now. I have Cruz as a tie with, Merab. But I think if Merab gets one more win, then it's undeniable that Merab is the bantamweight GOAT. And, it's just a bummer, man. I really wish that Cruz would have been able to have one more final fight. And I love his fighting style, the herky-jerky fighting style. And even though people make fun of Cruz, call him the decisionator, this guy doesn't finish fights. But look at Merab. Merab's not finishing guys either. A lot of people say, oh, you know, if you ain't getting a knockout, how can you be the GOAT or this and that? Like, it doesn't matter. If as long as you get the win, that's what matters. Even though I definitely prefer seeing fights that are finishes, you know? I'm one of those people where I love seeing knockouts. I love seeing submissions. But at the same time, sometimes I do want to see wars that go to the decision, you know? Like, look at Chandler versus Gaethje. That was a decision. You know, nobody expected that to be a decision, but it was funner that it was a decision. There's just some fights that are meant to be decisions, in my opinion. And even though Cruz had no knockout power, too, it's his fighting style was just so fun to watch. And, you know, I think a prime Cruz can still give issues to some of the bantamweights. I know the bantamweight division is very heavily skilled right now, and Cruz is one of those old heads. And they know his style. They moved on. You have, like, some very skilled people in there, like Peter Yan, Umar Nurmagomedov, Corey Sandhagen, Sean O'Malley. Like, right now, bantamweight, you know, there's a lot of very good skilled fighters. And I don't know if Cruz would maybe be competitive with them still if he was in his prime, but I think he probably could have. And it would have been awesome to see those fights in his prime if it were possible to turn back the clock and just have those fights. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Hey man, Cruz had a good career, you know. Some people still consider him the bantamweight GOAT. Most people probably still do. I think with Merab, if he gets one more title defense, then he's the bantamweight GOAT. But the good career, man. Great career. And, you know, I can't wait to see him, like, just chill out from now on. Just commentate fights in the UFC and just relax. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I just want to talk about Dominick Cruz's retirement because I feel like, you know, I think he deserves his props. You know, he's a good fighter. He's always been, like, one of those guys that I thought was just, like, cool. You know, he actually got me to the bantamweight division. I didn't really care about bantamweight at first until I watched, like, Cruz's fighting style. I just thought his fighting style was so fun to watch. Even though he's not getting decisions or he's not getting knockouts or finishes, his style was just always fun to watch. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. If you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you guys don't want to, though, that's all right, too. As long as you're watching it, that's fine with me. Anyways, see you guys in the next one.